And welcome back into a brand new episode of Tribal Council Chat. My name is Bruce Heller,
My name's Brett Parnell.
and we have a fun episode this week for you. We have the Tribal Council. What?
I was just going to say it's going to be something different. We're going into the holiday weekend, so whether you're up here in Canada or down in the States, happy Canada Day, happy Independence Day. And I'll still be posting about challenges this week on YouTube, on Instagram and Facebook, because there's a lot of challenge content. So, Bruce, do you want to take it away and tell people what we're doing this week?
Yeah, so we have this week the Tribal Council Chat Trivia Showdown, I'll call it. And so we each have a list of 46 trivia questions, one from each season that we have not ran by each other, so we have no idea if there's any overlap or if we have the same question for any seasons or not. But
It's lucky we both get a point.
yeah, and so this will be fun. And I'm sure it'll spark some fun discussion between questions also.
Yeah. And I'm not sure what you did. You're not sure what I did, but really, there's no set theme to this other than Survivor. Questions can be anything, game moments, castaways, locations, just anything to do with each season.
Yeah, and so I've been away at church camp with middle schoolers all week. It's my favorite week of the year. But because of that, because of my schedule's been so packed until I was just dead tired at night. I did like half of this, probably more, all in like the past 3 or 4 hours. I've been grinding on this little list I have in my phone notes for today, but I got it done on time. So, do you want to start us off?
Sure. So let's start with Borneo and we'll just go up one season at a time.
Yep.
And your question from Borneo, we started off by mentioning that it's the holiday weekend in both our countries. So for Borneo, who is the only castaway from the border state of New Hampshire?
Wow, you're starting off with one that I already don't know right off the bat. That's interesting.
We have a 1 in 16 chance.
I'm gonna say Greg for some reason with no basis for it.
The answer is Jenna Lewis.
Oh, okay. I was close. Not really, but oh well. Same tribe.
Yeah.
My Borneo question for you is, so with Borneo, for the merge, one person from each tribe went to the opposite tribe's camp, and then the two people convened on an island overnight and got to sleep in a bed while they decided what beach they would live on and what the merged tribe's name would be. Who were the two people?
I believe it was Sean and Colleen.
Wow, that is incorrect. It was Sean and Jenna.
No points to start.
That is true. So
Moving
for
on.
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
So moving on to the season we just recently covered, Survivor of the Australian Outback. And one thing I just forgot to mention, this is not one of them. Was a couple of times here that I just decided within mine, I wasn't sure if the question was too abstract or not, so I put a hint in there. So just wait until we're done the full question to try to answer.
Yeah, and you'll know it when we get to it, but there is a question in here that I may or may not have thrown in there just to kind of troll you and mess with you a little bit, but we'll get to that when we get to it.
So
So,
for Survivor of the Australian Outback, this season was set along the banks of which river in the Australian state of Queensland?
oh gosh. I'm not gonna get this. I'm off to a bad start with our trivia showdown.
Only 2 seasons.
Uh-huh. I'll pick it up, but I don't have an answer. I'm gonna know it as soon as you say it.
Herbert River.
Say it one more time, you cut out.
Boot. Herbert.
Oh. Yeah, I wouldn't have
Trump
gotten.
says it in episode 1.
And you're gonna get mine because it's probably one of the easiest questions I have on this list. Why did Kel get voted out? Yeah, I wrote Jerky Gate as my answer. So that's 1 point for you and none for me so far.
Moving into Africa. Who won more immunity challenges than any other player this season?
More immunity challenges than any other player.
I should say, so I'm going to specify that individual immunity challenges.
I assumed that.
Okay,
Lex?
that's correct.
Woohoo, I get one.
Lex won 3, Kim Johnson won 2.
Yeah. Name Jesse Camacho's job.
Police officer.
I'll count that. What Survivor Wiki said was deputy sheriff, but police officer counts. So you're still up 2-1 after 3 rounds.
2-1 after 3 rounds. Ready to go into my cases?
Yep.
All right. As I'm sure you know, one of my favorite activities is scuba diving. Who is the only player in Survivor history that got to scuba dive during the game, which is in this season?
Huh. I don't remember this at all.
I'm the award for flying kites.
Yeah. I'm just gonna take a random guess and say Nalia.
Close. It was Kathy.
Wow. Steven would be disappointed in me for missing that one.
If he's listening, he's probably laughing right now.
Yeah, well, and I feel like my question's kind of easy for this one, so you might be getting another point on me here. In the premiere episode, who was Sean referring to when he said someone was acting like Cleopatra on their way to camp?
Jones.
What?
Jones.
Sarah, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the answer. Darn it. This is not going well for me so far.
Moving on to everyone's favorite season, Survivor Thailand.
Gross.
I wanted to get your reaction there. Passed away, got a standing ovation from the tribe after they their name and where they're from. This is back in the one right before the schoolyard pick. Jeff said, "Name where you're from, what you do," and one cast member got a standing ovation from his tribe. Who was that? Or from all the contestants, not his tribe. He didn't have a tribe.
Rob? Rob Zabotnik?
That was Ken Stafford, who was a New York City police officer. They filmed 2 months after 9/11.
That's right. I am terrible so far. Your questions are harder than mine.
My bad.
No, this is another easy one. What was unique about this season's auction?
This season's auction.
Ooh.
There was no hidden items?
Was that your final answer?
Yeah.
The answer was it was done in teams.
That's right. Forgot that.
Wow, I didn't fall farther behind. Cool. Moving on to Amazon.
So in the Amazon, we've talked a lot about something that happened on this podcast in that season that's never happened before and hopefully never happens again, which is the tribe camp burning down.
And my question's about that too.
Oh, you do? Funny enough. So the question is, based with her reaction to the tribe fire, what was Jenna Maraska's luxury item?
She had some sort of letters from her mom or something burn up, didn't she?
Well, you see letters. I'm going to give it to you because she does say the word letters. It was a sorority jacket.
Oh, okay. The letters were what I remember.
To you because she directly said my letters burnt, so I can see how that would be perceived.
My question is regarding the fire. What item survived Butch's giant shelter fire?
Sestunino's Magic 8 Ball.
Correct. It is 4-2 now.
All right, moving on to Pearl Islands. Which survivor castaway from Survivor Pearl Islands shows a hometown with a host of tribal council chat?
Huh.
Either someone who was born where I live or who lives where you live.
They didn't let Canadians on the show until 41, I thought, though.
Smart. Well, it was 39, but you're correct.
Well, 39. True. 41 was the first one that won.
So if you wrote it down.
I'm learning this right now. Wow, I'm terrible at this. I don't know. I don't have an answer.
Bradley is from St. Louis.
Who?
Anna Bradley.
Okay. Where is it? Name the first boot.
First boot was, what was her name?
Nicole?
That's my final answer.
Yep, that's it. I couldn't tell what you said for a second. Your audio's weird, but
Oh, sorry. I've always said, and I'm curious to know, you mentioned we'd have some commentary. This is a great one to bring it up on. I've always said I think Nicole was playing the like new school 30s game way back in 7, and it caused her to get voted off. But if they ever found out where she was and called her back, I think she'd be a good player.
I totally agree. That was fun. Unfortunate for her that they got stranded with only the clothes on their back and she was wearing that dress, but I think that's irrelevant. Just a funny moment that gets mentioned when they're on the boat, but she could be really good in today's game, or at least the 30s. The new era is kind of unpredictable how older people would do, but
Who knows? All right, so this question has a hint. For Vanuatu. Oh no, we're going to All Stars. I skipped a question on my code, but I have a question here for All Stars. I just slid by it. My bad. So in All Stars, Rob won the video from home and traded it for everybody to get his letter. What challenge did he win in order to win the video from home?
what challenge did he win to get the video from home? Huh. I'm thinking. I remember watching that scene. I just don't remember what the challenge was. Hmm. Was it an archery challenge? Archery.
No, it was a elimination round obstacle course.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that now. This one's gonna be another easy one. I'm putting it in here for entertainment purposes, and it was one I actually did put in one night earlier this week. Which castaway bit a shark?
Richard Hatt.
Yeah. So 6-2 now. I'm doing fantastically so far.
I'm just for fun. I think, like you said, some of my questions might be too hard, but oh well. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah. So moving forward, which
So
castaway?
this.
What? Which
Oh, sorry.
cast? I think we're on a delay, but which castaway had some of the guys sunbathing with her and said something along the lines of, if they want to keep me around for eye candy, that's great for me.
Julie Berry.
That was Julie Berry.
So this question I'm going to give you a hint on because I think it's a little difficult, but when I give you the hint, you might get it if you know your co-host well. Um, Brett's favorite contestant from Survivor Vanuatu was Eliza Orlins. She completed a Bachelor's of Arts in Political Science and International Relations from what university? Now, the hint is that myself and Eliza constantly exchanged tweets about this university every month of March.
Was it Columbia? She's in New York.
Syracuse.
Syracuse. Okay.
Where the hint comes from, that's the basketball team I cheer for in March Madness.
Yeah, but they haven't been involved in March for the past couple years, so that honestly didn't cross my mind.
Fair enough.
Oh,
He
okay.
and I have been tweeting during March Madness for about a decade now.
Nice. So far, you have gotten 7 out of 9 correct, and I have gotten 2 out of 9 correct. Moving forward to Palau, what is unique about this season in relation to the tribes?
Okay. Started on one beach.
Is that your
I guess
final?
that's not unique, but I guessed it, so I'm wrong.
The final answer is there was no merge/merge tribe.
Makes sense. One tribe just got absorbed. That's true. Great question. All right. My question is, let's say within 15 minutes, how long was the record-breaking final immunity challenge?
10 hours. Yeah,
No, it was 11 hours, 55 minutes, almost 12 hours.
I was close, but not close enough. Okay. Dang. All right, go ahead with your Guatemala question.
About his profession, what was the last name that Gary Hodgeboom told his tribe who he was?
Hawkins. Name Cindy Hall's occupation.
Veterinarian.
Zookeeper is the answer. I don't know if that counts or not.
I don't think so. Not close enough.
Okay.
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 Moving down. Enjoying this so far? I think it's
Yeah,
fun.
I'm losing, but it's still fun.
Moving down to Exile Island. Which professional sports team was represented on Danielle Di Lorenzo's baseball cap?
Was it the Red Sox? Red Sox. Yes. Cool. I got it right.
Despite being in California now, Danielle grew up and spent most of her life up till that point in Massachusetts.
So I just thought of a better question, so I'm going to fray off of what I wrote down a little bit. When Shane said asked Sari to come look at something because she was a nurse, what did it end up being?
Let's
Or at least
try
what did
not
she
get
say?
taken off of YouTube, but what did she say?
What did she say it was, basically?
Lunch.
Diaper rash, I think. I'll give you that one.
Okay. So you wanted me to know what did Shane say? I'm like, let's try to not get banned from YouTube.
No, it was what did Sari say his injury or whatever was. Not injury.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call it.
Shane was one of those legendary characters that it's a shame we've never seen him back.
It is, but also the first time I watched that season, I didn't like him. So
I didn't either,
I don't think I've
but I
watched the
came to
second part.
like him in the end.
Yeah. Moving into Cook Islands.
Recently on Twitter, as I sent you, that Shane is a big fan of the challenge, so that was kind of neat.
Yeah, that was really surprising, actually. Moving forward to Cook Islands. What was the reward challenge at Final Six? And for a bonus second point, who was on the reward?
World challenge at Final Six
2 points at
in
stake
Cook
for you here.
Island. Like, what did they have to do, or what was the reward itself?
Oh, sorry. What was the reward? I don't know why I said reward challenge. What was the reward?
Just gonna say it was a night on a yacht. It's a random guess.
Do you have any guesses for the second part of who was on it?
Ozzy, Yule, and Sandra.
You were so close to getting 1 out of 2 points. The reward itself was a night at a hot tub and spa, and the people on
that
it,
one.
the people on it were Ozzy, Yule, and Parvati. I thought you were gonna get 1 out of 2 points there when you said Ozzy and Yule, but you said Sandra. So
I remember that reward now. My question for Cook Islands is, which cast members survived being shot?
Cowboy, this feels like a cowboy story.
This was Christina Coria, who was shot as a Los Angeles police officer.
Oh, that's right. Dang it. None of us got points there.
Nope. And moving on to Survivor Fiji.
You okay, here we go. Which castaway from Fiji? Well, let me double check. I have this written down. I forgot to double check if it's true. I believe it is. This will only take a second. Yeah. Which castaway from Fiji follows our show's Instagram page? Well, that I forgot you've messaged with him. That might be true. The answer in my head was Rita, but if Boo is on this list also, I'll accept it. He is not. Yeah, I'm not.
Follows us. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not.
My question is, prior to Survivor, which castaway from Survivor Fiji is friends outside the game with Russell Hantz?
Huh. I didn't know this. There was one. Rocky. Rocky.
That is Boo.
Oh, interesting. Neither of us got that one. Go ahead with your next question.
On Survivor China, which player in Survivor China got to attend the most individual rewards?
The most individual rewards. Let me think about this. Was it Todd? Todd.
That's Amanda Kimmel.
Oh, that was my next guess.
I was like, you're gonna know this.
We're on some sort of delay because we're not hearing each other very well. But oh well. Who was the youngest woman on the original Fei Long tribe?
On the original Fei Long tribe. Jamie?
Wrong tribe, so not the correct answer. But it was Amanda here, who lives on my shelf.
So we both used your favorite player and we both got it wrong.
Yeah. Oh, right. I gave myself a point for that. I didn't get that one. You just didn't get one. So it's still 8-4. Oh well.
Micronesia.
Yes.
In Survivor Micronesia, Johnny Fairplay is voted out of the game first. at that first tribal council, who did Johnny Fairplay vote for?
Parvati?
Ozzy.
Ozzy. That's strange. That was Parvati was the target they were talking about first. I don't know why. Fair play. Okay. Where's my question?
One of the all-time greats.
What castaway only received uncounted votes against them the whole season?
Only received uncounted votes.
What? Are you saying, Amanda, your connection's weird? Then yes,
Yeah.
that's the answer. So it is now 9-4. What is your?
Going on
Yep.
to Survivor Gabon. One season that we routinely reference for how great characters there are, even if the gameplay is horrible.
Yeah.
On Survivor Gabon, who is the only castaway not to be born in the United States?
Hmm. I have two options in my head here.
50% chance.
Paloma?
No, she was not one of the two options that I thought you were thinking of. The correct answer is Jillian, who was born in South Africa.
I forgot she existed, to be honest.
Now, surprisingly enough, Ace was not born in the United Kingdom. Ace was born in Manhattan, New York, but then grew up in London.
Huh. That's fun. I like that. Where's mine? Yeah, I'm gonna call an audible on that one too, because the one I have down is really easy. And this one's gonna be easy too. But what quote Randy's infamous voting confessional when he was casting a vote for Susie? Randy's voting confessional casting a vote for Susie. What was it?
Oh. Know this when you tell me, but I have no idea.
Hold on, let me get a little post-it parchment here. This is great for the YouTube audience, terrible for the audio audience. This is not strategic. This is strictly personal.
That was great.
This-
I know it's an unpopular opinion. Randy Bailey is my favorite character that season, and Glenn Kaplan is second.
Oh gosh, I forgot about that. You ready for token chains?
Right?
Name the merge boot, and not counting the medevac, because there was a medevac that went home. That was the first person from the merge tribe, but the first merge person actually voted out. No, Joe was the medevac. The answer we were looking for was Brendan,
Brandon, makes sense.
the dragon, for whatever reason.
Question is, from Survivor Token Teens, who spent the most combined time on Exile Island?
Taj?
Yeah, you're
Yay,
right.
I got my 5th point. It's 9-5 now. Cool.
And on Samoa. From Survivor Samoa, how many players would return for at least one more season?
Hmm. Three. Russell, Laura, other Russell, and who's the fourth one?
Padilla on second chances.
Oh, I forgot she came back. What a weird pick.
That's a weird fan pick.
Huh. Name the final 4 people standing from Foa Foa.
Natalie White,
Yes.
Russell Hantz, Mick, and Jason.
Darn it. You got it right. 10-5 is now our score going into season 20. So we're just a little under halfway through.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
One from Survivor Heroes versus Villains. Amanda Kimmel and Danielle DiLorenzo had a physical altercation at the former home of what famous author?
Oh, I knew this until you asked. Let me think about this for a second. Robert Louis Stevenson? Cool. So my original question I had written down was what happened at the Treasure Island reward. So I'm just gonna pull one off the top of my head because we basically had the same question. Who was with Parvati on reward when she found I'm only looking for one name here. When she found the clue for what becomes her second idol. Yep, Danielle. That one was easy. I know you know it. I just didn't have another question ready. So 11-6 is where we stand right now. I need to catch up at some point, so stop being good at this.
From in Survivor Nicaragua, who had the most votes for elimination? So not counting votes to win.
Sash?
Marty.
Huh. Interesting.
15.
Good Lord. Yeah, that feels right, actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep my original question here and just assume you'll have it pretty easily. Explain the Medallion of Power.
Medallion of Power was passed between tribes, giving one to the other an advantage.
Yeah, basically.
It was a twist.
Well, I very useless twist, honestly.
Yeah.
Moving,
Redemption Island, a season that I rate higher than most people. I actually really like this season.
I like it okay. It's middle of the pack for me. And that's just because
Yeah.
Rob's on it. But
So keeping with you mentioning Rob's on it, we're gonna have a Boston Rob question here.
cool.
What did Boston Rob ignite in Mount Ometepe, the largest volcano in Nicaragua for sure, possibly Central America?
He threw an idol clue in the volcano. Hmm. I'll go with my original question, even though it's another softball. I can't think of anything better. Who was the first Redemption Island returnee?
The first Redemption Island returnee, Philip Shepard.
Wow, no, it was Matt Elrod.
Oh yes,
Philip didn't get voted out at all, much less come back.
no, yeah.
Let's go. That wasn't harder than I thought it was. Cool.
All right. From South Pacific, which Survivor South Pacific castaway's voice and keyword is voice appears in the 2011 movie slash musical Footloose?
It's one of two people, and they're both on the Amazing Race season that Pit Stop Pals is recapping right now. And if you don't watch into Pit Stop Pals, you should, but I'll give you the names anyway. It's either Keith or Whitney. Is it
This is the
Keith?
keyword.
Is it Keith?
It's Whitney. She's a country artist.
I knew
She
one of them
sings in the
was. I
music.
couldn't remember which one was.
Uh, Fair enough.
Dang it. At the famous tribal where Cochrane flips on Savaii, who goes home ultimately? It was a tie vote, then a revote. He flipped on the second vote.
Home there.
The answer was Keith. I specifically remember it wasn't Jim because Jim would not stop talking to Cochran
That's right.
afterwards. I'm like, dude, you lost. Move on. Keep playing. Don't just get stuck in
Yeah.
your finger on this one thing. I did not like Jim Rice very much.
No, I didn't either, but I still voted for him to come back in a second chance.
Why?
I wanted to see him play again.
Okay. In Survivor,
Moving on
in
to One World. Go ahead.
in Survivor One World, name the highest placing man.
We have the same question here, so I'll give us both a point. It's Tarzan.
It is. Wow, that's the second time we did that. Well, sort of. The Treasure Island thing wasn't the exact same thing, but close enough. So we are now at 13-8.
Going into Philippines. One of your mom's favorite players is Lisa Welchel, who was the only person to vote for her to win the game.
Hmm. I have a name in mind, but I don't have another one, so I'm going to go with this, even though I feel like it's wrong. Was it her fellow actor, Jonathan Penner?
It was OC.
It was RC. Okay. Yeah.
That was a really good guess because they did connect pretty early.
Well, and I think he mentioned who she was at Final Tribal. And I can't remember if that was trying to sink her or like give her props.
Good point.
Who was,
Something we have to only Jonathan would know the answer to, probably.
yeah. Who was Abby talking to when she said her line, "If you screw with me, you're dead"?
See,
Yep. 14-8. I am bad at this game.
I mean, it's also fun.
Yeah. Moving into this is a ton of fun, honestly. Moving into Karamoan.
Especially on a holiday weekend. Just
Yeah.
good to relax, have a drink.
Moving into Karamoan. Where am I?
Yeah.
Who was the last fan standing?
Reynolds.
It was Sherry.
It's great. She made it to final.
Somehow.
So it somehow is right.
Also, she looks like if you bought Sandra Bullock off of Wish. At least that's what I thought when I watched it. I haven't watched that season in probably a year and a half, but I remember thinking that.
Question. Who was the first player to be medevaced from Survivor Karamoan? There were two this season.
Eric's the second one, even though I'm not entirely sure why. I don't remember what it was. I remember thinking this seems pretty mild for a medevac. But Eric's not the answer, so I need to keep thinking. Shamar? Yes. Let's go. So, Blood versus Water. Who was the final Redemption Island returnee?
Redemption Island returnee, Tina Wesson.
It was Tina. Nice.
Question from the end. I'm going to go with a question from the beginning of the show. At the Marooning, Jovis showed up on the island with a six-letter tattoo that he did not have in the first season. What did it say?
Is it one? Is it one of outwit, outplay, or outla? Oh, outwit's the only one
No,
that's 6 letters. I'll go with that.
it was Pagano, the name of his first tribe.
Oh, oh, Jervis. I thought you said Jeff. Okay, never mind. I just got that one completely wrong. I blame the
Oh,
internet. That's right.
Kagian, one of, as we talked to David about, the best seasons of all time.
That was so much fun. He was such a good guest.
Oh yeah, he was great.
So, what is your question for Kagion?
In a hilarious tribal council reference to the final five being a dysfunctional family, what did Wu refer to himself as in his analogy?
A family pet?
Foreign exchange student.
Foreign exchange, Jen. Yeah, I remember that now. I don't know why I thought it was family pet for some reason, but oh well.
One of the best things ever said at tribal council. I was just laughing for 10 minutes straight.
Mine is also from a tribal council. Finish this line from the final tribal council. You got these guys to do whatever you wanted, and
You do it without having breasts. Morgan McLeod.
yeah. Oh, you get another point. But oh gosh. That was funny.
Won't only come from Morgan.
Honestly, when they came up with the brains versus brawn versus beauty concept and the idea of a beauty tribe, someone like Morgan, who's just like that must have been their stereotype they had in their mind for beauty tribe.
Yeah.
Not only
There's a
someone that gets a like Morgan says, gets a lot based on her looks, but is aware of it and is kind of absorbed in it a little bit. Like she is
yeah.
so perfect for that theme. It's hilarious.
There's a reason why, from a point of view, if we look at both beauty tribes, Michelle, Julia, and Anna are the best three players to be on a beauty tribe, as opposed to the first three.
Yeah, and I like Michelle a lot. Julia and Anna are great players. Of the beauty tribe, I feel like Morgan might be the funniest one, honestly. Just she makes me laugh.
I can see that.
I
Oh, absolutely.
I think I'd get annoyed with her the same way other people did when she's just laying in the shelter all day. But just from a
She's
TV,
funny on TV.
it's hilarious, and it's not on purpose.
No.
But
Moving on to Survivor San Juan del Sur, we have a lot of debate right now in the community about 39 days versus 26 days. How many days was Survivor San Juan del Sur?
this feels like a trap because I I don't know. It's not 39 because that's too obvious. 26 hadn't become a thing yet. But I thought Australian Outback was the only one that was a different number with 42. So I just 39, just to throw a guess out there.
It was 40 days.
Why?
Remember at the beginning of the season, they had all the loved ones separated and said day zero?
Okay, but if you're starting from the when the game actually started, it's still 39.
I was starting from when the show started, showing us them staying in the elements.
That's fair enough. Who was the last pair standing?
The last pair, John and Jacqueline.
Missy and Baylor.
Oh, that's right. Good question.
Thank you. Worlds apart.
We're getting like 2/3 of the way done.
We are.
So in Survivor Worlds Apart, Mike Holloway has tied the record for winning 5 straight immunity challenges. Oh, sorry, 5 immunity challenges. From the moment he won his first challenge, how many immunity challenges did it take him to win 5?
6. Yes. Finally got.
That's
Let me drop my pen.
10 points.
Identical pen right here. I'm finally up to 10. Double digits. Oh, that one's dead. Oh, well. Which castaway got compared to a dead fish?
A dead fish. Sure.
Will. Shireen was the one that did it.
Oh, she did it. Who was it?
It was Will. Will.
Yeah.
So we are at 16-10 right now, moving into Cambodia.
30s now.
And
In
so,
Cambodia, Kelly Wigglesworth has the record for the longest time in between 2 seasons. How many calendar years did it span between Borneo and Cambodia?
15.
That's correct.
And Tribal Council Chat is, of course, on the Reality Realm Network. Another famous podcast network is Rob Has a Podcast. Which RHAP host was on the ballot for this season but did not get on?
But did not get on, so it's not Fishback. Let's see. I'm stumped.
When I say it, you're gonna know it. You're gonna facepalm that you didn't get it.
Cooper.
What?
Lisa Cooper.
Yeah, it's T. I shouldn't have given that hint.
I just had to think of
Yeah, it was T-Bird. Talking with T-Bird, such a fun show. I went.
she should have been there. And I mean, I follow Teresa on Instagram. She's still working as a flight attendant. She still seems very healthy. I think she could be on 50.
Yeah, I love that.
Maybe one like blast from old school.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to get her back on.
Ready to move on to Koram?
Yes.
The only castaway on Survivor Korong to wear the immunity necklace more than once.
Hmm. Is it Michelle? This is you. I feel like Michelle has to be the answer.
Michelle won Final 7 and Final 4.
This might feel like it's the question that I told you I threw in just to troll you. I promise it's not. I just came up with a random number in my head, and the answer happened to be this person. Who was the second medevac? Neil. It was Neil. A medevac that may or may not have changed the course of Survivor history. We'll never know.
First medevac would have been Caleb, and then the third would have been Joe.
Yeah, that's correct.
I've watched this season quite a few times, as you probably know.
What's really interesting is like on the Survivor fan page I used to do, and you kind of helped me write some of these. I was doing a Survivor What If series, kind of like the Marvel What Ifs. And I don't want to write it because those were hard to think of and go wrong. But I would love to just kind of see a fictional what if of if Neil doesn't get medevaced, what happens?
It's true. It would be interesting.
I think he probably still ends up on the jury at some point and still ends up being removed. But who knows how the numbers fall before that? We'll never know. But moving into 33, who hid
First
food?
Gen X.
It is millennials versus Gen X. Who hid food?
Who hid food? What's the idiot's name? Taylor.
It was Taylor. I love that. I was gonna not only did he hide food, he also was kind of in a showmance for a little bit.
With Figgy.
Yeah, they
Who
big
who
tails,
I've
as they
also
called it.
who I've also exchanged some tweets back and forth with. She's a big Indianapolis Colts fan, just like me.
Ooh, that's rough. But I love your response being, "Oh, what's that idiot's name?" That's fantastic.
Strategically and socially, he just has to be in that bottom tier of Survivor castaways all time.
Yeah, he's funny. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. What's your question for me?
Who is the only Survivor castaway on Millennials versus Gen X to be from the state of Texas?
From Texas. I'm thinking through the cast in my head right now.
Only one Texan on this season.
Huh.
This person is from the city of Fort Worth.
Is it? This is gonna be wrong. Is it Ken?
No, it is Michaela Bradshaw.
Oh, didn't know that.
Also of the challenge Spies, Lies, and Allies and USA 2.
Interesting. Is USA 3 gonna be a thing or is that show dead?
I don't quite know. And CBS, MTV has kind of hinted that there's something coming after All Stars 5. We don't know if it's USA 2, if it's something completely different. Who knows?
I'll say this, and we're not a challenge show, so this is all I'll say, but I'll say this since I'm not on the upcoming Reality Realm challenge show that's coming. I don't love that they're bringing newer people onto All Stars. The whole idea of All Stars was to have a show for like the older people and the OGs. So
I don't love that either. I'm just gonna say to the audience, no, I know you, like you said, you're not on the challenge show. I mean, I am going to Europe a couple of weeks after 40 starts, so I might need you to jump in with TT for a little bit if you don't mind.
that's fine. I don't mind the new people. The whole point of All Stars was to have a show for all the OGs from the early era of the show.
Yeah.
So it kind of defeats the purpose of everything bringing new people onto that. But oh well.
Game changers. What was the exact two-word rule on Sarah Lucina's legacy advantage that caught up Suri Fields in her act at Tribal?
I have to think of a question because my question was who tried to use Sarah's advantage without realizing it wasn't transferable. So your question spoils the answer to mine, but non-transferable are the two words. Think I have a number in my head. Let me double check to figure out if this number is correct. Sorry, this isn't great for the audio audience. Here we are. How many days into Game Changers did Sandra get voted out? The number in my head was correct. I just had to double check. 16, you said? Darn it, I thought I had a hard one there.
It was the same day that she got voted out of Winners at War, and the same day she got voted out of Australian Survivor.
Interesting. Here's the thing, though. If Game Changers didn't have a million freaking swaps, Sandra still goes deep into that game. Her first two tribes, she
Sandra
was
could
in
have won that
control.
game. She was. She is playing an excellent game. And funny enough, if you haven't seen Australian Survivor, I may have just spoiled it, but Sandra has the same thing as Sierra, or sorry, as Laura, where she gets voted out of the game by her daughter.
Oh, that I think I did know that.
Yeah. Moving on to Survivor 35, Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers. Who was the highest placing healer in the game?
Chrissy? Chrissy. Chrissy!
No. Chrissy was not a healer.
I,
Mike.
I couldn't remember. What was the answer? Oh, okay. So, who lost the first ever forced fire competition at Final Four? It was Devin.
Lost to Ben, who went on to win the game after 50 million idols followed by Force Fire.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Christie fan, so I'm kind of okay with Ben winning, even though it's very much on the weaker end of winning games if you're ranking by gameplay, but I don't hate Ben. He's just kind of meh. I don't really have any opinions on him either way.
So this one for Ghost Island, you already have a 33% chance of getting it right, no matter what, if you have no idea. Dominante has to choose between three past urns to cast the final vote from Australian Outback, Cagayan, and Game Changers. Which urn did he cast his final vote in?
Kagian. Speaking of Dom, who did Dom have a rivalry with in the early pre-merge?
It's
It was Chris Noble.
moving on to David versus Goliath, one of the kind of modern seasons that makes that top tier amongst big part of the fan base. We a tribe swap in this season that, while it may have looked bad at the time, produced the whole final three. What tribe was that?
Jabeni.
Correct. For 15.
That was 15? Okay, cool. I forgot to count one earlier, I guess.
Okay.
Who got voted out at the tribal before the famous jacket tribal? So the episode before.
Before the jacket tribal. So the jacket tribal would have been Natalie. Before her,
Uh, say it again. I can't hear you.
Lisa.
No, it was Natalia.
Natalia.
Moving into Edge of Extinction. This season features my favorite one-time player. Who is it and what do we share in common? So 2 possible points.
Who is it? What do you share in common? Your favorite one-time player is Lauren O'Connell, and you share in common your favorite player, Kelly Wentworth.
That is correct. You got 2 points there. Good job.
So, Age of Extinction, which castaway is a New York Times best-selling author?
Hmm. I have to think through the cast for a second now. Ron?
That's correct.
Well, I guess that because he runs a school or something like that. So,
He runs a school in Atlanta, Georgia. Had Matthew Perry play him in a movie. Was on the Oprah Winfrey Show.
oh wow, I didn't know all that.
It was funny. I'll tell you a story before we move on. A few months ago, maybe about like in the winter, I walked down the stairs and my mom was watching a movie that was the Ron Clark movie. And you just hear like the actors that are kids in the movie being like, Mr. Clark. And I'm like, Mom, do you know who this movie is about? She's like, yeah, this school teacher. It's a neat story. I'm like, that guy was on Super, you know?
That's awesome.
She had no idea.
That's hilarious.
Um, So moving on to Island of the Idols, and this is why I mentioned based on this question that Canadians were allowed to play in this season. You and I are both hockey fans. Name one of the two NHL teams that Tom Laylaw played for, and if you name both of them, I'll give you 2 points.
I'm gonna say Kings because I know that one, and I'm not gonna try a
One.
second guess. My question was who's the former hockey player, so I'm looking something up right now.
Okay. Do you want to guess another team? I won't negative points from you if you do get it right. And
Oilers?
he appears on the CBS website wearing this team's uniform.
Is it the Oilers?
No, it's the New York Rangers.
Ah, so I was gonna ask who the first person to visit Island of the Idols was, but I don't have a way of confirming if the name in my head was correct. So here it is. My other question. Who was the fourth person voted out? It's someone you and I have talked about before a tiny bit.
Chelsea Walker.
Yes. That was a. Were you guessing or did you know that?
I was guessing mostly because I know she's friends with Michelle, so that's why I just guessed her name.
That was an incredible guess. So, season 40, Winners at War. You go first.
In Survivor Winners at War, how many fire tokens did Michelle Fitzgerald pay Poverty Shallow for the 50-50 coin?
4.
That's good.
Mine is super simple. Name the second place finisher.
Now I know where you're trolling me.
Uh-huh.
Based on votes at Final Tribal Council, that would be Natalie Anderson.
Yes. Was Oilers right, by the way? I was looking something up. On Island of the Idols, was Oilers the... Okay, cool. I'm working...
Rangers.
Oh, Rangers. Never mind.
Yeah. New York Rangers and Los Angeles Kings.
Okay. So there's my Winners at War question that was only in there to annoy you, to be honest. But it was funny, so
It
worth
was
it.
funny. Survivor 41, we're into the new era, last 6 rounds, and I'm going to give you another chance to earn up to 2 points. Again, don't feel like it's a negative. If you get one, you'll still get a point, regardless of if you guess or not.
True.
In Survivor 41, via a 5-4-3 vote, Sydney became the victim of the worst twist of all time. Name the two other contestants who got votes for 2 points.
I still feel like the twist where Wanda and what's his name went home without playing in Palau is the worst twist, but I digress. Evie?
Swan?
Xander? Xander.
Sean.
Oh,
It was 4 votes for Sydney, 4 votes for Evie, 3 votes for Deshaun.
that's right. Who did Ricard and Shan convince not to take a beware advantage so that they could go back and take it for themselves later?
Jeannie.
It was Jeannie.
Great move from both of them.
Yeah.
Moving on, 42. In Survivor 42, we have this epic brother and sister rivalry between two tattoo teammates. Who was the only person to win more than one individual immunity not named Jonathan or Lindsay?
Mike?
No, you didn't answer.
I did answer. The connection is really bad on your end, I think.
No. Corey.
Oh, I
Corey
forgot about
won
that.
the Corey Meehan won the Hourglass Individual Immunity Challenge, and then she won the first full you are merged whatever individual challenge, and then they voted her off the next show.
I forgot she won those. You're right.
It was not Mike.
It was not.
All right, go ahead with yours.
Who's 42. Who broke the hourglass?
The Hourglass Roxroy.
It was Roxroy. You're right.
Movie 43. In Survivor 43, which castaway is from New Orleans, Louisiana?
From New Orleans.
And this is someone who goes relatively deep in the game.
It's Owen, isn't it?
That's right.
Because Tulane.
It is Owen.
Cool. So 44. Who set the record for fastest win in fire making?
You didn't give me a 43 question.
I didn't? Oh. I'm dumb. Whose idol did Jesse secretly have that no one knew about?
Cody?
Say that one more time.
Cody.
The answer was Janine.
That's right. Good one.
So now 44. Who set the record for fastest win in fire making?
Fastest win in fire making in 44. Benjamin?
Heidi was the answer.
Ah, yes. I beat
Someone.
Wilson?
I don't
No.
Carson.
So, yeah. All right, in Survivor 44, which castaway impersonated Robert De Niro upon bringing his torch to Jeff to have it snuffed?
Danny Massa.
That's correct.
Okay.
Two more.
We're on 45. Across the entire season, how many votes did my girl D receive against her? Total.
One.
Is that your final answer?
Guess.
2.
Nice.
She receives a vote at the tribal where Julie goes home from, I believe, Jake. And the tribal where Sean quits, basically, they still voted, and Sean couldn't vote for himself, so he threw a vote at D.
That makes sense. Way back then.
Only 2 votes against the entire season, even though she was running everything.
Looking to one of your favorite players, what city was Di Valladares born in?
Miami?
No. Havana, Cuba.
Oh, I know that. Darn it.
He lives in
Miami, where she
Miami.
lives now.
Yep. I'm 46. Want me to go or do you want to go?
I'll go. So for 46, who had the most confessionals?
Most confessionals on Survivor 46. Maria?
The answer is Charlie with 84.
Nice.
I had to look that up on Reddit. I did that. That's one I did earlier in this week at camp while I was laying in bed.
Nice. Sticking with Charlie and Survivor 46, while having a song battle for fun with Ben, what was the title of the song that what was the title of the Taylor Swift song that Charlie used smartly to score 2 points? So he scored 2 points with the same title of the same song as opposed to 1 point.
I remember this. I remember it happening. I don't remember the answer. I don't know. What is it?
Guess of any Taylor Swift song.
What?
Guess of any Taylor Swift song.
I don't have a guess. Just tell me.
Too Well and the All Too Well 10-minute version.
Oh, that's right.
He scored 2 points with.
That was fun.
That's fun. Looking at the scores, you had 22 and I had 27. So pretty good showing for both of us.
Yeah. It was pretty close actually. It didn't start out that way, but this was
That
fun.
was. Should we do a quick Allied Blindside First Boot before we go?
Sure.
All right. I'm going to give you 3 points that were answers to questions I've had that I don't think I've ever used before. If I have, I apologize to the audience. Um, so your options are Tijuana Bradley from Pearl Islands, Mike from Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers, and Tom Laylaw from Island of the Idols.
Hmm. I am going to align with Tom. I don't know if I can trust Tawana as a juror to vote for me because she voted for Lil for some reason, who is one of the worst games played by a finalist we've ever had. Which means I'm blindsiding the one from Heroes, Healers, Hustlers. I will.
I'm gonna flip Mike and Tom. I'll ally with Mike. I'll blindside Tom, and I'll first boot Tawana for the same reason as you.
Nice. I will also go with 3 answers to my questions that I haven't used for this game. We have. Oh, where was it? Oh, we have Devin Pinto from Heroes, Healers, Hustlers. We have Jesse Camacho from Africa, who I'm pretty sure this is the first episode of ours she's ever gotten a reference on, so shout out to her. And we have that idiot, as you referred to him, Taylor from Millennials versus Gen X.
That I think I know who I'm gonna first boot.
If we ever sell merch, one of our shirts has to be "What's that idiot's name?" Just that quote on it on a t-shirt.
Getting first booted. I'm gonna blindside Devin and ally with Jesse. Devin's got to the end. He seemed to be a threatening player. Jesse, I haven't seen really anything from. She got sick early, so she could have a lot of untapped potential. Who knows?
She could also be really terrible. We don't know. Devin's proven he can at least help me get. I'm first booting Taylor just for the meme of it at this point, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to align with Jesse because Devin seems likable. I think he might beat me at the end. He's a threat, but the unknown of Jesse scares me also. I don't know what I'm getting there.
Yeah.
So flip a coin. Imaginary coin lands on heads. I'll align with Jesse, which means blindsiding Devin.
Well, it's an episode.
This was.
We'll maybe do it this time again next year.
Yeah, for sure. Make this an annual July 4th weekend tradition.
Yeah.
Check out Pit Stop Pals. We have a Reality Realm Network Twitter. Be sure to go check that out. And be on the lookout for the new challenge show that Brett has coming with TT Fernandez.
I think we can go ahead and tell the audience what it's going to be right now. This our new show with myself and TT is going to start in early August. She's we have to start it in between our own vacations because she's going to Europe in July. I'm going to Europe at the end of August. We have the challenge premiere right in between there. So we'll be on in early August when she's back to do a cast assessment for season 40. Then we'll be back to talk about episode 0, so the like premiere special, followed by episode 1 on right after the 14th of August. And our new name is going to be, as you may kind of based off of what you may have seen from some of the marketing that MTV's putting out, we are the Next Generation Challenge podcast. So TT and I will cover the whole show as fairly as possible, but there's 1,000 challenge podcasts out there. I make no secret of the fact that we're both fans of a lot of the new era players, especially era 4 you're going to see on this season, and we'll be bringing some emphasis to those players that maybe don't get as much respect as they deserve in the broader challenge community.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. So, Reality Realm will now have Tribal Council chat, Pit Stop Pals, and Next Generation Challenge. It's the full name Next Generation Challenge Podcast.
Generation Challenge or something like that, just the 3 words.
Yeah, and we have another one coming when I don't want to reveal the name of yet when the Traders comes out because that won't be for a while. But
I mean, they just finished recording it, so it might be sooner than we think. We'll see.
True, but they have to take time to edit it, and it was forever between seasons 1 and 2.
End of September, early October.
Hopefully, we have Reality Realm Network is growing though. Be sure to check out Twitter. Most of our shows have they'll all be on the Reality Realm YouTube. Your all show. You and I we're texting about this. I don't know about Apple because I had a hard enough time getting the 2 shows that are going on Apple. Definitely on YouTube, and I can show you how to get on Spotify too, because I know we do have an audio audience that doesn't want to deal with YouTube, like listens while they're driving. But we'll make sure to tell you guys where all of our shows are located throughout the network. So with that, grab your torches and head back to camp.